A massive one-of-one card was just pulled out of a retail pack at Walgreens. Is this a good thing or bad thing for the hobby? We'll tell you what we think and much more on today's Cards on the Table. Hello, sports card investors, and welcome to another episode of Cards on the Table, our fast-paced talk show where we take on topics from you, the audience, and we debate them. And we've got a lively show today, including right off the bat, some breaking news that happened earlier this week. This is wild. One of the biggest cards in Top Series 1 baseball this year, the Wander Franco one-of-one platinum card, was found in a pack that came from Walgreens, a retail pack. This is not what we're used to seeing or hearing in the hobby. Normally these things are coming out of expensive hobby boxes, but that's not always the case with Topps products. And for one of the biggest cards to be pulled out of a Walgreens store, hopefully by a kid. I don't know if a kid got it or not, but that would have been great if a kid got it. What does this mean? Do we need to see more of this? Is this a good thing? Or as a sports card investor, are you upset about this? Doug, let's start with you. What do you think?
I'm fine with it overall, I think. Look, the hobby's supposed to be for everybody, right? So you've got this issue where hobby boxes are super expensive, and that price does demand that there be certain guaranteed hits and certain rarity that comes out of that product, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the one-of-one. You can't guarantee that goes inside of a hobby box. And I don't want to get too far off the actual subject here, but this mindset that a rare card shouldn't be in retail, it kind of reminds me of the whole gatekeeper mentality that you see sometimes in the hobby. You've got these people that try to tell you who's allowed to participate in the hobby and who's not. We've got a lot of the talking heads out there that have decided they're in control of who get to participate in the hobby. This is like telling someone, hey, if you can't afford a hobby box, you can't chase rare cards. And I can't stand that mindset. Obviously, hobby boxes need to have X amount of numbered parallels, autographs, case hits, chases, whatever, special inserts. But, as far as retail having something worth chasing, of course it should.
I love it. I love it. Are you in alignment, T-Pott? Do you love this?
I don't hate it, but I don't think the biggest card from a set should be in retail. I don't think it should be in a hanger box or whatever. I love the idea of being able to hit big cards in retail. I like the idea of retail being a more affordable version, which it is, that makes it harder to hit big cards. And you see like the pack odds, there's something funny done with Topps, with Series 1, where it can actually be harder to hit low-numbered, serial numbered parallels than in some of the retail formats, because it gets that guaranteed auto hit. So that's where the justification for the price comes from in hobby. The problem is that a lot of times that auto hit rate, the auto checklist isn't very good, and you end up getting a bad auto. So it's actually driven a lot of people away from the jumbos and away from the hobby boxes and into retail. I myself have opened quite a bit of Series 1 this year, and it's been a lot of fun. I like hitting those things. That's the biggest card. And if you're gonna pay a premium for a hobby product for a jumbo box, I think you should have the chance to hit that big card. I love the idea, and we've talked about this with Fanatics, of doing the product tier, stratifying the products, and having retail exclusive, low serial numbered stuff. Case hits, numbered to 10, some kind of a gold retail parallel. You see like the shimmers versus the gold, or like that type of deal. Okay, make it so that the retail number to 10 is a shimmer, and make it so the gold, plain gold, is in a different product in hobby or something like that. I think that's a better format. To me, it's like, you're not gonna take a really high-end Grail type card from another product and shove it into Topps as like a huge hit. Why would you take the most important card and do it that way?
I think that's a pretty good suggestion. I mean, the kid in me loves this story that this was found in a Walgreens, because I very distinctly remember coming home from school on allowance day, and I took that $5 week's allowance from my mom, and I hopped on my bike and I rode down to the 7-Eleven and the drugstore, which was right next to the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, I've got almost the same story. Yeah.
Like literally, I go inside and I ripped the packs in the parking lot.
Do you remember
Literally
your
the
first
that's
big
what-
hit? What's your
that's-
first big hit?
Ken Griffey Jr. Well, actually, I was ripping packs even before that, but the ones that like stand out to me were I guess it probably would have actually been Bo Jackson, like his future stars, because that was 87. That was 87 tops.
The wood grain.
Yeah, the wood grain. Yeah. So that actually probably was maybe my first big one. I started getting packs in 86, but it really was 87 when I got into it, and then a couple years later, 89. Was the Ken Griffey Jr. chase, and so I never got the upper deck, but getting the Donruss and all that type, they got a zillion of
Yeah,
those.
like back in around 90 or so,
Yeah.
I did the same thing. Rode my bike to a gas station, bought a pack of Donruss, and I pulled a Ryan Sandberg autographed and hand numbered out of 500 card. That was my first big hit.
That's a huge one.
And who knows if I would have gotten hooked the same way I'm currently hooked if that never happens.
And so today, like, I don't like the fact that Panini doesn't put a lot of those serial numbered cards in the retail, because I like buying a blaster box with my kids, but so actually from a retail standpoint, what I've been veering to recently, if I like buy a pack for my son, is going for the products like Absolute.
Yes.
Kabooms.
Because they got the kabooms. So you do have the chance of a big hit in a product like that because of the short print stuff.
Yeah.
But I like this idea of the bigger, but I think your suggestion's smart of just having a totally different set of parallels. You could pull a 101, but let's not have it maybe be the main 101
In the
for whole
90s,
product.
there were retail exclusive inserts that were cool.
Yep.
And there were hobby exclusive, and then there were ones shared where it was easier to hit in a hobby box than in a retail, and that to me makes a lot of sense.
There we go. All right, we're out of time. We're on to the next topic, guys. By the way, what do you think of that? What did you like? Did you not like it? Let us know in the YouTube comments. But this next topic is it's a big one, because this goes back to the data dive that we did last week on the Market Movers YouTube channel this past weekend. T-Pott, you were on vacation.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. I don't know. But you had a wonderful week away. So Parker from our Market Movers data team tagged in and did a great episode showing the players in the NBA that were most improved this year and the effect that had on their card prices, right? And it was obviously perfect timing. Earlier this week, we found out that Ja Morant, in a total farce, won most improved player.
I wonder what your opinion is.
A total farce. I mean, you agree that was a disastrous decision for this guy.
No, I want to know, why do you think it's a farce?
Why do you think Ja Morant should have won?
Because he was the most improved player. Well, actually, let me say this. I think he said Desmond Bane. I thought maybe Desmond Bane should win, his teammate, but Ja Morant had a massive improvement from the year before.
I don't understand how the number 2 draft pick, this guy was sensational in the NCAA tournament, sensational in college for Murray State. Number 2 draft pick would have been the number 1 draft pick if it wasn't for the fact that you had the biggest coming out of college prospect since LeBron James in the same draft. Yeah. Like any other, Ja would have gone number 1 this year. He would have gone number 1 5 years ago. That year he happened to be behind Zion. So how is the number 2/number 1 draft pick 2 years into his career, going to the 3rd year, going to become most improved? Did we have low expectations for him?
Brandon Ingram won most improved. He was 2nd overall. Yeah. Victor Oladipo won most improved. He was 2nd overall. In fact, I did a little research.
I bet you did.
I did a little research. More than 50% of the players who win this award were lottery picks. It's not, I think you're looking for like a most improved but not actually supposed to be good award, or a Cinderella story award. If you look at the definition, it specifically just says.
So you're going by definition instead of spirit of the award.
Well, that's what it is.
Ja Morant did his job. Yeah. He did it. Why? What are we so soft now as a society that we have to give people awards for doing their job? He did his job.
Nothing
he was
soft
the number
nothing soft about
2
Ja,
overall
man.
pick. His job. If he was a 2nd round pick, great. But he was the number 2 overall pick. Everyone expected him to come out and by his 3rd year being putting up 20-something points per game. He's just simply meeting expectations.
All right, what do you think? Let us know.
He's not doing anything exceptional.
Let us know down in the comments.
It's a shame. It's unfair to guys like DeMar DeRozan, who not only was he incredibly improved, but he actually improved that entire team. You could give DeRozan not just most improved player, but literally like the dude who most improved his team. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies were 20-4 without Ja Morant.
Yeah, the Grizzlies.
They were better without Ja than they were with Ja in the regular season. What exactly is he improving here?
What if I told you there was a guy that was barely getting G League minutes that is now one of the best 6 men in the NBA and could help lead his team to the finals.
Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole, yes. Jordan Poole. I would have gone for Jordan Poole over Ja. The expectations
what about
were lower
Tyrese
for
Maxey?
Ja.
Maybe the best player in the NBA right now?
These guys did not have the number 1, number 2 draft pick expectations. I like these guys.
So you want the most improved team award with the best player on the
Let
most
me give you
improved
something
team.
for the advanced stat nerds, because I'm not one of them, but I know some, and I consulted them. Ja Morant had a monstrous PER increase, more than you would ever see typically from a person in their second or third year. I've got it written down here. He went from a 16.7 to a 24.4 in player efficiency rating. That's a significant increase.
Good increase.
And he more than doubled his win shares. So if you're really into that kind of stuff, Ja really makes a good case for himself.
Now, I will say, looking at the data that Parker represented, he didn't feature, he did most improved kind of players with their card prices. So number 1 on that list was DeRozan, up 122% in the last 6 months
Ding,
on
ding,
his,
ding.
on his
Ding,
top.
ding, ding.
However, DeRozan's numbers actually not any better than last
No,
year with the
yeah,
Spurs.
right.
It's almost the same. He's just really good. He's been good for a long time.
Wait. What are you talking about?
They're not.
He improved 6.5 points per game over where he was with the Spurs last year. He went from like 21 to 27.7.
I'm not sure about that.
He had a big jump
not
over
sure
where
about
he was
that.
last
The
year.
fact check.
No, this is
His
why.
numbers were good.
His points per game improvement was almost as much as Ja's. Ja was up like 8. He was up like 6.5.
DeMar DeRozan's been a good player for a long time. He was a rookie back in 2009.
And by the way,
really,
do you know what?
good.
Do you know what DeMar DeRozan did between his rookie year and his second year?
I can't wait for you to tell me.
His points per game went up 8.6 points per game. You know what? That's more than Ja Morant's points per game went up from last year to this year. But guess what? DeRozan did not win Most Improved Player. Did not win. Even though
There must have been somebody
he showed
better.
a greater leap than Ja showed. Did not win back then. Also did not win this year. It's a damn conspiracy. He, meanwhile, over his voting for these awards. This is ridiculous.
I wish I had a
I got a
vote.
question for you. Wilt Chamberlain, between his second year and third year.
Oh, man.
Okay? Between his second year and third year. Wilt Chamberlain's second year, he was at 38.5 points per game. His third year, he was at 50 points per game.
Yeah.
Would you have handed him Most Improved Player?
It depends who else
Does
is up there.
going
I
from
would've considered
38
him.
and that's a 12-point per game
Yeah.
increase.
That's crazy.
That's way more than Ja.
That's crazy.
That's way more than Ja. So you would have handed Wilt Most Improved Player?
If he was the most-
Because if you go from 38.5 points to 50 points,
Yeah.
that makes you the Most Improved Player in the league.
What if his team went like the Bulls, went from 0 to hero?
Oh, you want to talk about the Bulls? Let's talk about John Paxson. Let's talk about the Bulls.
Paxson.
We're going to
do
talk
not
about John
have
Paxson.
John Paxson
I've got
stats.
John Paxson stats here somewhere on my. Yes, John Paxson
This
improved.
is why I saw you online at 2 in the morning.
He improved 11 points per game. 11 points per game between his rookie and sophomore season. But I have a whole list of players who showed better improvement than Ja and did not win
Who won?
Most Improved Player.
That's what matters.
Did not win Most Improved
But who
Player in
won?
terms of the stats that you're looking at.
There must have been somebody
What I'm
better.
looking at is the improvement of the overall team and the role that player played in that. And DeRozan
not the
undoubtedly
award. It's not the
lifted the
award.
team while his own stats
not the
went
award.
crazy up and high as well. I don't know.
Crazy. I think our timer broke. It was supposed to go off like 6 minutes ago, well before John Paxson.
Hey, that's all for this episode, guys. Thanks.
Players who saw a greater points per game increase than Ja saw, but didn't win the award, are guys like Reggie Miller, LaMarcus Aldridge, Jerry Stackhouse, Dirk. We could go back and Antoine Jamison. Antoine Jamison, between his rookie and sophomore year, his points jumped 10. Didn't win the award.
Who won?
Didn't win the award. I don't know who won the award that
That
year.
doesn't matter to
It's
you.
many years ago.
Doesn't matter.
Huh?
Doesn't matter who won.
No, I'm just saying that this.
You're all over the
that
place.
You're looking for these reasons why Ja should be the award winner because his
I thought Bane should
PER
win.
did something.
And the Grizzlies went from what, 7th or 9th last year to 2nd?
I don't know. This is a conspiracy.
Tyrese Maxey.
Anyway, would you rather? And so that really the ultimate question comes down to, at the beginning of the season, would you rather have had Ja Morant's cards or DeMar DeRozan's cards? And the answer was given
DeRozan.
in the right. The answer was given.
Morant's
You would have
cards
rather had-
actually
the
are
hobby
down.
has
They're
spoken.
down like 6%.
They're
or something,
down
right?
6 to 14%. So
The hobby has spoken.
Yeah.
The hobby has spoken. The hobby has declared
Yeah.
DeRozan most improved player by way of
So
card
zooming out
prices.
on this, actually,
By
the
way of card
one
prices.
most consistent thing we've seen in the last 2 years, from the time like a season starts until the end, for players who do go up, are these more unsung ones who then see it. Like, it's the most improved candidates usually who are the ones who see price
And that's
increases.
what I think the award should be. It should be the unsung guy who does something special, not the second draft pick.
Adam Silver, speed dial.
Anyway, Check out that episode Parker did if you want to see the analysis of the card prices of all of the most improved players in the NBA this year. That episode is on the Market Movers YouTube channel. Go subscribe to the Market Movers YouTube channel if you haven't already. It is a good watch. It is now time for a quick break brought to you by Market Movers. All right, welcome back, everybody. My blood pressure is finally down a little bit here. Although this just triggered me again. The new Basketball Card Fanatic magazine, which we just got, it's got Ja Morant on the cover of this, too. Everyone is Ja Morant everything as of this moment. By the way, fantastic magazine, Basketball Card Fanatic. Go subscribe, bcfmag.com, promo code SCI10 for 10% off any subscription. Go check that out. Really beautiful magazine. Okay. Mailbag time. So these are questions that came from you, the audience, questions that you put into the YouTube comments that we're going to answer right now. And that means that if you have questions you want us to answer next week, go into the YouTube comments right now, toss up a question. We will be happy to debate it for you next week. The first question is, we're going back to the topic of retail. We had that big card pulled out of retail. So if you are going to go buy product at retail, what are the best products to buy?
It's probably the hardest question you've ever asked me because it's so dependent on exactly what product I'm looking at and who I'm chasing. For example, if I were opening 2019 Prism football right now, I'm looking for Kyler Murray, I'm looking for Debo, I'd go with a hanger and try to pull a red cracked ice and get that beautiful color match. So the thing about retail is every retail tends to have its own exclusive parallel, could have a specific color match for the player you're chasing, or maybe it's got a guaranteed auto, or you're talking about absolute with the kabooms. I can't answer the question. There's so many options and they're so unique in what they offer per year, per product, per sport. I'm sorry, but I don't have an answer.
That's interesting. Well, I mean, I would say, first of all, perhaps buy Topps, because Topps baseball products is apparently get one-on-ones out of them, which you're not going to get out of the Panini products in general. But there are so many different formats, you know, from mega boxes down to cello packs, all these different formats. How about you? What do you veer to when you go and buy stuff at retail?
Yeah, you kind of just need to know what's in it. Like Dutch said, I love the thought of finding the color match, but even like you look, there's Walmart and Target exclusive boxes, and those have specific color matches, and maybe it's like, oh, the blue looks better than the pink does that comes out of this one, so I'm going to go with the Walmart and not the Target. First, you got to find it, which is getting a little bit easier, thankfully. But yeah,
now we got one-of-ones coming out.
That's true. It's all going to be gone.
Retail to the moon.
You know, you have to know what's in it. Now, if you really, there's a couple awesome resources. I've come across these channels in recent months on YouTube. One of them, 1 Cent Sports Cards. He does breaking, but he does product reviews, really in-depth, like 20, 30-minute product reviews of everything in each product for baseball that comes out. So you can get a lot of information that way. Another one, a Detroit guy, Striker Breaker on YouTube, and he has he's actually done the value analysis from cost per card, just what's the total dollars per card that you pull out, stacked up all the odds so that you can see it's going to cost you $30 on average to get a gold numbered to 2022 out of Top Series 1 from this product, whereas it's 67 out of Hobby. So he breaks it all down and has it color coded, and he will show you, oh look, Mega Box is your best bet, Hanger Box is your next best bet, Blister Pack is the next. So he kind of breaks it all down for you. It's a super cool analysis. So if you're into it and you want to do that, easier is just to get a gut feel. Wait a week and watch all the people on YouTube who do breaks, see what's coming out of it. Obviously, that's a smaller sample size, but a lot of those people will do comparisons of each format and kind of give you their thought too on what's coming out.
Yeah, interesting. All right, some good resources there. Check that out. Thank you for that question. We got another good mailbag question, and this one is around when should you consider buying non-rookie cards of a player? And you know, what's kind of the generalized advice when you get into sports card investing is obviously look for rookie cards, look for rookie cards, look for rookie cards. However, one thing that we've really seen over the last year in the sports card hobby is more and more emphasis on these insert sets, and you've seen some of the short print insert sets, you know, just rapidly gain popularity. Obviously, you've got insert sets from the 90s that have maintained huge, degrees of popularity. But, over this last year, we saw sets like Kaboom just, it was already popular, but then it entered a whole new stratosphere of popularity, right? So what's your opinion? If you're going to buy non-rookies of a player, where do you look and when's it appropriate to do so?
Yeah, it depends on the purpose. So I'm going to go out right away and say, if it's for your PC, buy what you like.
Yes,
right? I can already see people down in the
100%.
comments, buy what you like. Don't listen to what these guys say. Buy what you like. But if it's for an investment and you're thinking long-term sustained value, right? You want something that's a non-rookie card to be unique and memorable and something that will be sought after for a long time. So what I did was I pulled up a couple just examples, some Luka cards here. And I pulled up, first of all, his rookie card. This is a BGS 9 purple Prism Fast Break number /75. We know there's tons of rainbows in that, but Prism is the flagship set.
Yep.
And this card recently went for $4,500. Okay? And then all the rest of these are non-rookie cards. I've got a couple of his Kabooms here in PSA 10 from different years.
And you can see on the price crash, these are price-wise very comparable.
Yeah,
very comparable. The downtown.
The beautiful Panini 1, Downtowns 1 and 1. And then the Spectra Color Blast, PSA 9, but it's just a Pop 4.
And none of those are his rookie cards.
None of those are his rookie. So you kind of make the decision, right? Is like, what am I looking at? Let's, as another example here, look at Kobe Bryant. I've got obviously one of his most important cards here in his Topps Chrome rookie card. And this card went for, recently $8,500. I did throw the Jambalaya on here, which is higher at $14,400, but as an example of like a really iconic card. These other two, the Noise Boys BGS 9.5, and then even first year Prism Silver PSA 10, just pop 19 on that. Same price. So you kind of
go, on up there,
do you want the pop 833 Chrome? Do you want the silver that's super short printed? You make the decision, but these are alternatives that you can consider, and they don't come up as often, so if you see them, maybe take the opportunity to pounce because the other ones will be more readily available.
That's a good analysis, and I see you're using market movers.
Using market movers.
You can use market movers. Promo code trial, free for 7 days. Doug, what say you on this topic?
Yeah, I think T-Pott nailed some of the primary cards to look for. Those iconic inserts, your Kabooms, your Color Blast, your Downtowns. Another thing to keep in mind is speculative plays like a player's first card in a new jersey, LeBron's first Laker card, KD's first Nets card, Brady's first Bucks.
No, not KD's first net card. Let's not give the audience bad advice on that one.
That's not advice. You would have to go, first of all, it's 2019, right? So you'd have to go back in time a bit. That's
the other ones I'm buying. Brady's first Bucks card.
That I'm specifically saying. I'm just saying, in general.
Oh, I'm totally messed up. And now we got the timers going off. It was a good point, Doug. It was a good point.
Listen, if you can't afford one of the GOATs, go for a second-year card, potentially. Yeah. Also, significant seasons for a player, MVP season for a player, or a championship season for a player, or a really unique card, like a really cool patch that you don't see on the rookie card for an RPA or
great
a
photo,
patch
chalk toss, like that.
That's
kind of
true.
deal, right?
Yeah, or the Kobe guarding LeBron photo from 2008 Topps
even
Chrome.
2019 or
LeBron guarding
LeBron's Kobe-ish card from 2020 Prism.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, the dunk. Yeah. All kinds of options. Great discussion. Love that. Love the questions from you guys. Thank you for those questions that you put into the mailbag. And once again, leave us some questions right now in the YouTube comments. We would love to tackle your questions next week. And until then, guys, go check out Market Movers. Use promo code TRIAL for 7 days free. Go to sportscardinvestor.com. Click Market Movers in the main menu bar. Promo code TRIAL. T-Pott, this was a lot of fun.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for coming on, even if you were wrong half the time. I still appreciate you coming on the show.
I still feel improved. I had a good year last year. Looking forward to my year-end review. Most improved.
Who's the most improved in the office, would you say?
Most improved. Well, you see, by my definition, that means the person must have been very, very poor.
No, not necessarily.
To begin with. So I will withhold that information. But Doug, I appreciate you coming on, and we appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe and that like button. We appreciate it. We'll see you back in a couple days with our next show. Take care.